What's up? What's up? It's time for another Bills report, and we're going to be talking about the final power rankings of the 2022 NFL season. Obviously, with the Super Bowl being concluded now, the NFL did decide to drop their final rankings, and thought it was appropriate to just see where they looked at us as a team, as an organization, and ultimately what type of ground we need to make up. So go ahead, hit that like button on the front end of this thing and subscribe to the channel if you have not done so. You already can see we got some exciting things hopping up over here. So definitely want to stay tapped in and locked in, all right? But the number one team that they had in terms of their power rankings, Kansas City Chiefs, no surprise there, the Super Bowl champs. At number two, they went with the Philadelphia Eagles. Once again, no surprise there either. After that, third team they had is the Cincinnati Bengals. Coming in at number four, they went with the San Francisco 49ers, and then to wrap it up at five, the Buffalo Bills. Now, after that, I'll read off the top 10 just to give you a full picture of it. So, like I said, Buffalo's at five. Then from there at number six, we got the Dallas Cowboys. At seven, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Eight, Los Angeles Chargers. Nine, Detroit Lions. And then at 10, Minnesota Vikings. All right. So, with that being the case, as you can see, mixed reviews, so to speak, right? In terms of Buffalo being at five, have them ahead of teams that did win playoff games this season. When you're talking about the Jacksonville Jaguars, so we know that part of it, along with the New York Giants, they also won a playoff game this season. But the same here in Buffalo, we know we took care of business, but ultimately we fell short in that division round. So it was interesting to see how they would look at that versus some of the other teams that lost in that division round as well. But I do feel like it was appropriate that Buffalo was still ranked ahead of all the other teams that did lose in that vein, minus, not even minus San Fran, excuse me on that one. Yeah, all of the teams that had lost in the division rounds, they did have Buffalo ahead. So I did like that. When we talk Dallas Cowboys, we know Dallas had a lot of excitement this season, a lot of hype. They were trying to win the NFC East, but hey, that fell short. Like I said, I still feel like we were the better team. When you talk Jacksonville, exciting, Trevor Lawrence, I get it, but Buffalo the better team, and so forth and so forth. So now when we're looking at the number four team, San Francisco. Well, we know that would have been the interesting part. If San Fran had Jimmy G late in the year, or if Brock Purdy stays healthy down the stretch, who knows what that team is able to do in the NFC Championship game. So part of me does feel like, okay, I can understand them wanting to put San Fran ahead of us because of, like I said, how they were still able to keep their ship going in the right direction, even when they did have the injury at quarterback and go from Jimmy G to Brock Purdy. But that's still one of those ones I would like to have seen, because we play two very different styles of ball. Them, more running the ball, play action pass, West Coast offense and defense. We know for us, man, we're going to let that thing fly. We're going to ride with Josh till the wheels fall off. And we make plays on defense. So it would have been really intriguing to see how that one would have played out. But I can understand why the NFL would have, or the Power Rankings would have them slightly ahead of us because of how they were able to finish. They definitely finished way stronger, we would all feel like, even though with us we still had some success down the stretch and we still won a ton of games, don't get it twisted, but we understood also, man, we had a lot going on once DeMar went down, man. It just changed a lot, instead of it being more so we're focusing on the football part, we were focused on this guy's, survival. We're focusing on make sure he was all right. And I do feel like it had a little bit more of an effect on the team than they might have even communicated. And even though they did communicate it very well, I still think it had even more so. And I thought we saw that. But like I said, I thought it was appropriate because San Fran definitely finished stronger. Cincinnati, is hard to, fight this one right here because they beat us in the head-to-head and they beat us convincingly at home in Buffalo, playoffs when it mattered the most. In a game like that, we didn't show up the way that we are accustomed to showing up for four quarters. So it makes sense why they would have them at three. Philadelphia at two. We saw how their season went. They were the cream of the crop for the NFC throughout the whole season. And you watch how the Super Bowl went down. They're a couple plays away from actually winning that Super Bowl. So I thought that was definitely appropriate. And then Kansas City, like I said, they won it all. So with that being the case, man, I don't hate it that, they got us at five. I think it is appropriate. I think at the same time, we should still be feeling pissed off though, because we knew what we were capable of, and unfortunately that got derailed. But we got to take some of that pissed offness into the off season this year. And again, it's gonna be a different feeling because we know a year ago, man, we were talking about how we got robbed, 13 seconds, the overtime rule, and all that other stuff. Whereas this year, We don't got that same luxury. But the one thing I will say is this, man, sometimes it does pay off to be a little bit pissed off like this. To have that feeling of, man, we got kicked in the mouth in front of our fans. Yeah, we got to bounce back. And you're going to feel a certain level of urgency when you're preparing this all season, a certain level of, focus with these guys, man. And hopefully it'll carry over to getting us back to where we belong and where we need to be. All right. So with that being said, you guys let me know in the comment section though, man. Buffalo at number 5 to finish the season out, man. You think that's appropriate? Too high, too low? But either way, I appreciate you for tuning in. And until next time, baby, peace.